While caring for my mother, I often felt like I was disappointing someone that I loved. When I stayed with my mother, I felt guilty because my retired husband was home alone. But when I went home, I worried that my mother might need me. No matter where I was, part of me felt like I should be somewhere else. And then one phone call changed everything. Hello, everyone. I'm Janine, and welcome to JC Lowe's next chapter. Today, I want to talk honestly about caregiver guilt. What it felt like to be torn between my mother and the other people that I loved, and why I will never regret the choice that I made. After my father passed away in 2023, mom's life changed completely. In fact, our entire family's lives changed. My parents had been married since 1962. Dad had been beside my mother for more than 60 years, and suddenly he was gone. As mom's health became worse, she needed more help. I'm the oldest of three daughters, and I had felt a deep responsibility to be there for her. I retired in 2024 after teaching for 22 years, and caring for my mother became a big part of my life. The responsibilities grew little by little. I prepared her meals, cleaned her house, organized her medicines, provided transportation, and took her to appointments. After Daddy had passed, I remember in the summers, I would spend about a week from sun up until sundown staining her deck. They needed attention, and she couldn't do it. So I handled it, and then I moved on to the next thing. That's what caregivers often do. We become so focused on the next meal, appointment, or problem that we don't always notice how tired we are becoming. During the last year of mom's life, she needed oxygen all the time. She was also living with kidney failure and congestive heart failure. Even preparing her meals required thought. I tried to make heart healthy, no salt foods that followed her medical instructions, but I also had to make something she would eat, and that was difficult. Helping her take a shower required planning too, because her oxygen level could drop so low when she didn't wear the oxygen. I bought her a shower chair, made sure she continued receiving oxygen in the shower, and even helped bathe her. And mom was so cold natured, she wanted the heater running in the bathroom, even in the summer. That room felt like a sauna to me. I would be standing there sweating, but I wanted mom to feel warm, safe, and comfortable. I knew I could always cool down later. My comfort could wait. My sisters would sometimes say, Janine, I don't know how you do it. And the truth is, I didn't always know how I would do it either, but I always did every single time. Nobody handed me a caregiver's instruction manual. I learned by facing one problem, figuring it out, and then moving on to whatever came next. The physical work wasn't always the hardest. The hardest part was feeling like I could never be in the right place. My husband was retired too, and he wanted us to take a few trips to another state to see our daughter. And I wanted to go with him. I wanted to see my daughter. But I couldn't bring myself to leave my mother. I knew that even if I went, I would probably spend the entire trip worrying about my mother. I would be miserable, and so would everyone else. So I stayed behind. When I was with mom, I felt guilty about the time I was missing with my husband and my daughter. There wasn't a perfect choice. It felt like no matter what I decided, someone I loved was getting less of me. And maybe you've felt that way too. You may be trying to be a good spouse, parent, grandparent, daughter, son, or sibling while caring for someone who needs you, but you're only one person. You cannot be everywhere, no matter how much you love everyone. Even when I wasn't physically with mom, my mind was still with mom. I would think, is she breathing okay? Had she taken her medicine? Did she take it on time? What could I cook that she might eat? Did she need me? I might have left her house, but caregiving always came home with me. Then in February of 2025, one phone call changed everything. Mom fell and broke the entire left side of her body from her hip down. She had to be airlifted 2 hours away to a hospital for surgery. Because of her existing health problems, we were afraid she might not survive the operation. The doctors were afraid she wouldn't survive. But there really wasn't a choice because her body was broken and in pain. But mom, she made it through the surgery. Afterwards, she had to be placed on a ventilator. But once again, mom showed us how strong she was. She came off the ventilator the very next day. Everyone was surprised. Over the following 6 weeks, we were in 3 different hospitals, and I rarely left her side. But I have to give my sisters credit. One of my sisters worked at one of the hospitals mom was in, and she would bring in food in the mornings. She would try to stay some on the weekend. My other sister brought in food when she would come in to relieve me, sometimes one day or 2 days during the week. Sometimes it was a weekend. Whatever our schedule was, I usually got at least a couple of days off a week. And I was grateful for every opportunity to go home because you do not rest in a hospital. But being home didn't mean I was resting either. Mom didn't like the hospital food, so I would use some of that time to cook enough food to take back with me. Because once I returned to the hospital, I couldn't just leave to go home and prepare another meal. I had to have enough food for all the days that I would be staying with mom for both of us. So while I was home, I was cooking, packing food, and preparing clothes to return. I was trying to clean my house. My body had left the hospital, but my mind and responsibilities had not. And when I was at the hospital, I helped the staff keep mom clean, encouraged her to eat, made sure she was comfortable, and stayed involved in her care. After that surgery, mom had to do physical therapy, and she worked so hard during physical therapy because she wanted to go home and walk again. But the truth is, most elderly people who fall and break a bone, they're afraid of falling again, and physical therapy is extremely difficult for them to do. And on top of everything, when mom would try to stand, her oxygen levels would drop so low that made everything worse. Watching mom try so hard was painful because there was nothing I could do to fix it. As caregivers, we become so used to solving problems. We prepare the meals, we arrange the appointments, we organize the medicines, we figure out what to do next. But sometimes we face something our love cannot fix, no matter how much we want it to. And being unable to fix the situation doesn't mean our love has failed. Sometimes the greatest love we can offer is simply being there and present. Mom never got to leave the hospital. She passed away 2 days before her birthday and was buried on her birthday. And I still don't understand why she had to go through so much. But through it all, God was her strength. Her faith and determination touched the doctors and the nurses who cared for her. They saw how hard she fought, and I believe her strength inspired them. In fact, one doctor had asked her one time, "How is it that you are still so strong?" When I look back, I don't regret giving so much of my time to my mother. Was I exhausted? Yes. Did I miss time with my husband and other family members? Yes. Did I sometimes feel overwhelmed, frustrated, or guilty? Absolutely. But I would never regret being there for my mother. And I don't want you to think every moment we shared was about illness. Some of my most precious memories are the simplest. In the mornings, Mom and I would sit outside on the porch swing and drink coffee together. Sometimes we talked about everyday life. Sometimes we remembered things from years ago and would talk about them. Sometimes we just simply enjoyed being together and we would talk about daddy. Sometimes we watched TV. At the time, those things felt like an ordinary part of our day. Now, I would give almost anything to sit beside my mother and share one more cup. That's what caregiving taught me. Love doesn't always look like a grand gesture. Sometimes love looks like preparing another meal, sitting beside a hospital bed, or drinking coffee together on a swing. Sometimes love is simply staying and being present. If I could speak to the woman I was during that time, I would tell her, Janine, you cannot be everywhere. Accept help when it's offered. Rest when you can. Stop expecting yourself to handle everything perfectly. You're doing the best that you can for someone that you love. And if you are caring for someone right now, those words are for you too. You can love someone deeply and still feel exhausted. You can be grateful for your time together and still need a break. You can feel love, sadness, frustration, joy, and guilt all in the same day. And those feelings don't make you a bad caregiver, they make you human. If you are caring for someone right now, I've created a free one-page caregiver checklist to help you keep track of some of the everyday responsibilities that can feel overwhelming. You can download it in the description below. I hope it makes your caregiving journey just a little easier. I couldn't be everywhere for everyone that I loved, but I will never regret being there for my mother. If you have felt torn between caring for someone and being present for the other people you love, how did you handle it? If you feel comfortable, please share your story in the comments. Your words may help another caregiver feel less alone. And if this story connected with you, I hope you'll subscribe to JC Lowe's next chapter. Here we talk honestly about caregiving, retirement, family, faith, healing, and finding purpose after life's biggest changes. Thank you for spending this time with me. I'm Janine, and I will see you in the next video.